My sister told me to trap my man if I really wanted to keep him. I didn't, and 6 months later, she's got him as her new boyfriend, pregnant with his kid, and now she's going for my inheritance. When I, 27F, was 20 years old, I was in a situationship with a guy, now 40M. It was messy, we were on and off for almost 5 years. He was always clear he wasn't ready for a relationship, and I was always clear I was madly in love with him. Every time I got tired of the situation and wanted to leave, somehow he convinced me to stay, saying things like love is free, we have so much time together, and he wasn't ready for commitment. I asked for advice from my sister, now 42F, and she gave me some crappy advice like making him compromise, leaving stuff at his place, and basically turning him into a boyfriend until it was too late for him to say no. I never managed to do that because I wanted him to love me as much as I loved him, not to trap him. During the last night I spent at his place, he said he wanted to try something more serious with me, talked about some dates he planned, the future, etc. And then he ghosted me forever. It was hard, this was the first person I ever loved, and he treated me like trash. 6 months passed, and my sister came home one day saying she wanted to introduce her brand new boyfriend to our parents. She had tons of boyfriends before, but she claimed this one was the one. It was a dinner meant to be only with my parents, so I was excluded and was expected to just go outside or chill in my room. The day came, and while they were dining, I ordered a pizza. I came downstairs only to find the guy I had been with 6 months prior dining with my parents and sister. I was shocked, but I paid for my pizza and went back to my room to cry. After dinner was over, I confronted my sister in front of our parents and begged her not to be with him, to be loyal to me, her little sister. There was no way she didn't know who he was. I had shown her pictures of him, his social media profiles, where he worked, and she even knew where he lived. They never met because he didn't want to meet my family and never introduced me to his, but she knew who he was, and she excluded me from that dinner because she knew. She said they met by chance after we stopped seeing each other. She knew how hard that breakup was, she knew how painful it was to not even have closure. He just stopped replying, not even blocking me, just left me there wondering after 5 years. She knew that during those 6 months, I was still hurting. I know it was my fault, I was too naive and thought that if I stayed long enough, he would be ready for the relationship I wanted and would learn to love me. Stupid, I know. She defended herself, saying it was a coincidence and the chemistry was there. She loved him, and she wasn't going to lose the love of her life. This stuff only happens once in a lifetime. When I was in my early 20s, I would have believed that. However, now I know that there are 8 billion people in this world, there's no one love of your life. You can find the love of your life multiple times if you look for it. My parents sided with her and said I should get over it since we never had a real relationship. Since then, I've been excluded from multiple family gatherings because he would be around, and my family thinks I will bring negative vibes since I'm still bitter about everything. I have no feelings for him, but I feel betrayed by my sisters and my parents. He is just a piece of crap in my eyes now. My sister is now 6 months pregnant, and due to her age, she has been extremely pampered by my parents. She still lives at home and is going to move in with him maybe 2 months after the baby is born, then they're going to marry. In my culture, it is normal that if a woman gives birth, she moves back or stays with her mom, so the mom will help with the baby for the first months. A week ago, my sister's friends made a surprise baby shower, and I happened to be home at the time. I tried to talk to them. I don't know why, maybe because my sister and I were so close before, and I'm sad we're no longer friends. But her friends acted like I wasn't there and only replied to me with one-word answers or completely ignored me, treating me like I was the one who made this mess, like I am sort of a homewrecker trying to steal my sister's man. I was planning to move already. I was saving money and everything, but after that, I left immediately to a friend's house. I'm in the process of finding my own place now. 2 days ago, I received a call from my parents asking me to have a talk. I went to their house, and they informed me that the diamond earrings my grandma left me will be given to my sister. Those earrings have been in my family for 4 generations, and before my grandma passed away, she said the earrings would be mine and my sister would receive a gold necklace. My grandma trusted my parents with the earrings, there was no will or anything. She just asked to give it to me when I was mature enough to appreciate and take care of a family heirloom. Now my parents think that since my sister is getting married first and is having grandma's first great-grandchild, my sister should have it. I'm really mad now, they're robbing me of something my grandma left to me. I don't think my parents are evil, just overly worried about my sister not marrying due to her age. Again, in my culture, a single woman in her 40s is a concern for her family, and now that she's forming a family, they want to reward her with everything. But I was the closest to my grandma. She made it clear that the earrings would be mine, not my sister's, not the first one to marry or have a child, but mine. After 2 years of being excluded in favor of my sisters, I gave the ultimatum to my parents: they give the earrings to me as my grandma intended, or I will cut them out of my life forever. Not gonna lie, the idea of cutting my family off is too painful, but I feel they have already wronged me so much that I don't want them in my life anymore. I feel a little shallow fighting over this, but those are the only things my granddad left, and they are not entitled to them. Update 1. This is old, but I keep receiving messages every once in a while asking for an update on my post from 5 months ago. Yes, I got the earrings. After my post, I went to my parents' house, opened the safe, took the earrings, and left. Then, after that, I went again, told my parents I needed time to process stuff and be my own self, and gave them their house keys. I said I was leaving for good. There were some tears from my mom, saying she couldn't believe I was such a bitter person. She raised me better, I was turning my back on my family over nothing, and finally, that it was shameful that I would leave the family house without being married or anything. So, it was never about me or her loving me or anything, but social pressure to keep an outdated tradition. My dad was very neutral, gave me a hug, and wished me luck. For 2 months, nothing happened, and I barely had contact with my family. My sister and mom never reached out to me, only my dad sent a text once a week asking how I was, and wished me well. Then my sister's boyfriend/my ex started to follow me on Instagram again. I found it weird, but anyway, after all, he's my future brother-in-law. I stayed ignoring him. Then he started liking my stories. I still ignored him. Then he started replying to them, saying things like, "Looking good, heart emoji, heart emoji." This happened 3 times maybe, and I ignored him every single time. Then one day, I received a voicemail from my mom, calling me all sorts of names for going after a man that I knew was engaged, that it was some kind of revenge over my poor sister, and claiming that I was causing her so much stress, her blood pressure level was over the moon. I was an inconsiderate femme fatale, and she raised me better. Later, I learned through a cousin that my sister took her fiancé's cell phone and found several conversations with several women, including his attempts to talk to me, so of course, she went to my mom crying about me trying to steal her fiancé. All messy, to be honest. Less than a week later, another voicemail from mom asking me where the bleep were the earrings. She went looking for them, and when she couldn't find them, she deduced it was me. She called me a thief, a disgrace, dishonorable, and said they didn't consider me family anymore. I was trash to them, and she would be taking legal actions against me for theft if it was possible. I had no option but to block her and my sister and other family members that sided with them. My dad later texted me to let me know my mom went nuts and they won't take any legal action. By the end of last month, my cousin texted me saying my sister had given birth to my niece. I know I shouldn't have, but I did it. I went to the hospital with a gift while wearing my beautiful and fancy earrings. I was kicked out, of course, but it was worth it. I have no plans to see them ever again, well, maybe my dad. Also, my cousin, the big gossiper, let me know my sister is getting married in May, so she will have her happily ever after all. But I'm also living my best life right now.